Guys, so here I am, trying to get you guys situated here. I'm going to be making deodorant today, so I'm super excited about that. Let's see here. There we go. Wonderful. So let me move you guys over here. So I'm actually going to show you what I have real quick. So here I have the beeswax with the coconut oil and the goat's milk. We have the shea butter, the cocoa butter, and we have the essential oils. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to put the beeswax with the coconut oil and the goat's milk, the powdered goat's milk, into the microwave. We want to go ahead and heat it up just slightly to make it nice liquidy. We're not going to put any other butters in there because they can easily get clumpy or like little clumsy and gritty or ricey. So especially the shea butter. So we want to first heat up the beeswax and the cocoa butter. Okay, the coconut butter. So let's go ahead and get that started. And generally what I do first, I do it like in 3-minute increments. That way it doesn't, I can watch it that it doesn't get too hot. So so why is my cocoa butter, my deodorant different than anyone else's? I never thought I was going to go into making deodorant, but I had an issue with homemade deodorant, and the issue was baking soda. It gave me a rash. It gave me actually boils to a point where I couldn't even close my armpits. So I investigated and researched why I was having that issue, and come to find out because I have extremely sensitive skin, the baking soda should be washed off for my skin type. Not, it would, you know, and because it didn't get washed off with a deodorant, it pretty much would clog then my pores, and they would get infected. When I started making it and I started telling people about it, there were a lot of my customers said, I have the same issue, that's why I stopped using homemade deodorant, because of that reason. So mine is actually a butter, or hard butter. So it doesn't melt away, it's not sticky, it is not greasy, believe it or not. And the essential oils, and I didn't want it to go into all kinds of different scents, I wanted the essential oils be the part that actually decreases your body odor. And so I did a lot of research on it, and I found that geranium, of course patchouli, lemongrass, cedarwood, all these were actually decreasing the body odor, were extremely essential to decrease body odor. So and then I wanted something that would help to disinfect or keep the area clean, and that is actually tea tree oil. So I have a little bit of tea tree oil in there, not to make it burn, but just to help it disinfect and just to keep it clean and soft. A lot of my customers use it also in the bikini area. I have not, but they swear by it and they love it. So you can actually use it all over your body if you like. It will not make you stop sweating. I get that a lot. I get asked that a lot. Will that help me stop sweating? No, it will not. It will decrease your body odor. So if you have a teenager that is has a lot of hormones going on, and sometimes they stink, that would be a good one to do. Now, if you start out with the deodorant, I tell everybody in the beginning you have to use it maybe 4 times a day, every 4 hours. And once after a month, you can then start using once a day. And the reason why is because your body has to adjust to it, that you're taking something all natural. A lot of people are not aware of that. But because it is a butter and it comes in a tube like this, it'll last you forever. You don't put a whole bunch of it on there. And because it's an all-natural product, it actually takes a lot less. And you don't even know it's on. You know, it doesn't leave you any white streaks on your clothes. That's what I like about it. It doesn't make you like greasy, where you have grease spots underneath your armpits or in your t-shirt. None of that. So it's really nice. It's also very subtle, so it's not like only very feminine or floral, for that it has geranium in it. It's actually very neutral. Okay, so Just keep that in mind. So let me go ahead and check real quick, make sure. We're not done yet. We got to continue with it. We want to now make sure that the beeswax is completely melted. That's going to take the longest. So we may have to a couple times repeat the process on heating it up. You can do it in the microwave. You can do it in a double boiler. Either way you want to do it, it's perfectly fine. Okay? So, talking about powdered goat's milk. This is, I powder my own goat's milk with the raw goat's milk from the farm. So you still have an all-natural product, and that's why it's not white. When you buy powdered goat's milk, it's generally all white because they use actually the whey, which is a byproduct from making cheese, and make powdered goat's milk with it. That's why it's white, and it's so by the time they make cheese, all the fats and all the nutrients is pretty much gone. I don't want that, so I make it with the raw goat's milk. So as you put it on, it may feel a little gritty, but it soaks in just like our lip balm. It soaks in and keeps it nice and moist. It's just an extra part of the moisturization. If you have ever followed me when I make soap, when I explain why I have the certain oils in there, also the coconut oil is actually also helps to disinfect. So it's another nice disinfectant right there, so you don't have any bacteria growing underneath your armpit. So we're not there yet. We're going to go ahead and, like I said, we probably have to do this several times for us to completely have the beeswax melted. The beeswax also comes from my husband Bees, so it's a raw wax. He dries them and shaves them for me so I can use them better. I used to do it in blocks, but you know, it may ask for half a cup, it may ask for a quarter cup in some of the recipes, and I'm like, so it was easier just for him to pretty much make small pieces with it. So the cocoa butter is an extra moisturization, plus it helps the smell, believe it or not. So I use the ones that people bake with because it just smells so much better. It smells, or make chocolate with. I just want to eat it. But yeah, I'm on a diet, so I can't. And then the shea butter is an all-natural butter. It's just an extra moisturization. You have to have certain amount of butter so when you make a butter, so it doesn't get greasy or it doesn't get runny. Does that make sense? So I use there's different containers that you can use. I want an old-fashioned container that I can squeeze out. I didn't want to have it in a jar because in the beginning I did do it in a jar and you had to dip your fingers in it and rub it underneath there. It just was not, you know, suitable for me, so I went ahead and actually put them in like little deodorant jars. So, and I believe it or not, I didn't think so many people would be so positively responding to this deodorant because it is a different texture. It is a butter, but when they start using it, they say they always come back, they always buy more because it is so amazingly and so beneficial. And it smells, like I said, it's not overpowering. So it's like, it's just nicely to your body. Okay? So let's see what it does here. We're almost there, almost. So if you have any questions, just start asking. I'm going to try to answer them as much as I can. And while we're waiting, the deodorant is online on our website at www.cajuncorral.com. You can also purchase it here at the storefront on our farm, or you can also, if you like, come to the Gretna Market this Saturday, or the Algiers Point Market Sunday to check it out. Okay, we do have testers where you can rub it on your arm a little bit, like here on your hand, and just see how it feels. It is not heavy, believe it or not. For that there's that many butters in there, it is not heavy, and that's how I wanted it. I wanted it to be moisturizing. I wanted it to be pH level agreeable, and I also wanted it to be you know, effective. There's no sense in you wearing a deodorant if you still stink, right? Just saying. All right, we're almost there. So like I said, I do it in 3 minutes in a row, so it does not overheat, because once it gets done, we do have to put the shea butter in it, but we don't want it to be too hot. So one of the tools that I use actually is also my little mixer. This one I got from Germany, but you can go buy it anywhere. Get yourself, if you ever want to get into this, making your own, make sure you get a quality one, not one of those cheap $20 ones, because they're motors. They just, they get torn up. And there's no sense in you having to buy one every time when you make a soap or a lotion or whatever. Plus, I found the ones with the metal right here, some of them are plastic. When it's pure metal, it doesn't break and you can clean it easier. So just keep that in mind. So I have one actually that I make the butters, the lip balm with, and then I have one that I make the soaps with. So I have two of them that I can easily turn around. There's some, I used to have one that was battery operated, it would charge the batteries, and that was really cool too, but it just wouldn't charge long enough for me to actually work on a daily basis and get my products made. So no questions so far, so I guess I'm doing good. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. If you have not, sign up for our newsletter on our website, only because if I do coupons, that's the way to go. You sign up for the newsletter, and you may find a coupon here and there in there that you can use online or in person. I do have a show with Vintage Market Days coming up in Mobile, which is actually on my birthday weekend. It's the weekend of February 5th. It's the first weekend in Mobile in March. No, I'm sorry, in February. And so I hope you guys can see me there. It's indoor, so it doesn't matter if it rains or if it shines, or if it's hot or cold, because they have heater or air conditioning. And actually the ground is concrete, so it makes it easier for strollers or for a wheelchair as well. So I hope you guys can come see me there as well. And Grumpy Goat's going to be there, so you can bug Grumpy Goat a little bit too. So I want to show you guys, it's still not 100%. It still needs to, and make sure when you take it out, the bowl will be hot. You see, it still needs to be melted just slightly. So before we even stir it, we're going to melt it a little bit more. And then we're going to get cooking with the shea butter and the cocoa butter. Now, the next time when I do the 3-minute, I'm actually going to put the cocoa butter in it. That's the last, because it is a little bit harder. You can buy these in blocks. I prefer actually them already being chopped up a little bit, so it's easier to measure. And that's one thing I don't have to do. My supplier offers both of them. I just don't do it. You know, it's just one extra work that I don't have to do. So let's stir it around a little bit. Just a little bit. Mix it up. And we're going to put the cocoa butter in there. Yeah, when you stir it up, it actually melts already a little bit more. But because, like I said, because the cocoa butter is a little bit harder, we definitely want to put them in the last 3 minutes. Alrighty. So, of course you can do other scents if you just want patchouli. That is great. I have several of my customers also, they use the lemongrass body wash, and they just leave it while they take a shower, leave it underneath the armpit just for a couple of minutes longer before they wash it off, and they said it helps a lot too, actually doing with the body odor deterrent. So keep that in mind. You know, some people like the Japanese mint that say it's nice and refreshing, helps them cool down a little bit. However, you know, if you would come to me and okay, I have this body odor issue, I would refer you also to the deodorant. Okay, and you know, it's $9 right now. I mean, as of right now, I can still sell it for $9. Not know what's going to happen in a couple months with inflation, but as of right now, I still have it for $9, and it will last you. I mean, I use deodorant for 6 months, and it's still fine. And there's no preservative in there. There's no aluminum in it, so it's an all-natural product, y'all. And that's what we women actually like. You know, I tell everybody, you know, you got to be so careful nowadays with the paraffin, with the aluminum, especially for us women, because we have to be aware of that because of breast cancer. that it might cause if you overuse it. So when I was making this, that was one of the main reasons that I researched everything very, very closely to make sure I'm not going to have that issue. You know, breast cancer runs in my family. My grandmother had it twice. She had one breast removed and then the other one. And so because it runs in my family, I'm very anal what I put on my skin. I'm very protective of my skin because I know whatever I put on my skin, it goes into my skin. And so I just don't want any issues with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I grow my own food, most of my own food. So just FYI. So we do have goat yoga. I'm going to put the date in today. Next month again, probably end of February or the second Sunday in February. And then March we'll have our picnic with the goats. If you're interested, the event is already in there. Make sure you hit interested or going, so when I have updates on it, you are going to be notified by it. Also, this is all weather permitting, of course, but so far so good. God has granted us good weather every time when we had these events, and so I'm hoping that we're going to continue having awesome weather that is suitable for the picnic or for the yoga. Last time when we did picnic with the yoga, we actually had our little ones, the triplets, help us out, and they were a hoot. So they have learned to jump on people, which I'm very careful for, that they are not too over doing it too many times, especially when they get bigger. But they enjoyed it, and I know everybody that was there enjoyed it as well, right? So, all right, so we got it melted. I'm going to show you how it looks real quick. I'm going to turn you guys around, so don't get this on me. So here is the melted thing. You see you have still a little bit cocoa butter in it, and we're just going to stir it a little bit. And the little chunks in there, as you can see, that's actually the powdered goat's milk. So that is normal. Okay, you see it's melting really nicely. So let me go ahead and turn you guys back around. What I'm going to add now actually is the shea butter. I'm going to make sure it's nicely, and as soon as I add the shea butter, I'm going to start mixing because I don't want it to clump up. Okay, I don't want it to be gritty. So we're just going to add that in there. And a lot of times the recipes say, like when you research, to make butter, when you use shea butter, or let it melt. I don't let it melt because I know this is really, really hot, and I know that shea butter has an issue with having it melt in a hot oil. So I'm just mixing it up right away. It will melt really nicely. And I'm going to turn you guys around and show you to you again. Hold on. See, it mixes up really, really nicely. Now, a lot of times when they talk about making butter, or you do the research on it, the thing is, if you make butter, hold on, let me go ahead and turn you guys around again. Sorry. When you make the butter, a lot of times they say you have to mix it till it hardens up. I don't wait that long. However, I have to wait long enough to not interfere with the purity of the essential oils. Each company that makes essential oils has their own flash point for each essential oil. So you have to look on the bottle what it says, what the flash point is, which is the degree. So you definitely want to make sure that it's not too hot, because a lot of essential oil, especially grapefruit, it has a very, very low flash point. So if somebody said, so I couldn't be using it in a bar soap because it's just too hot to not interfere with the flash point. And generally when it interferes with the flash point, the scent of the essential oil changes generally to something really, really bad scented. And so you want to be very, very careful with it. So if you just want to go ahead, and while I'm mixing it, I'm actually cooling it down. You see, so that's one of the reasons why I go ahead and mix it right away, because I want to make sure it starts cooling down right away before I add the essential oils. So if somebody sells you a bar soap that is grapefruit, then it's probably a fragrance oil, because their flash points are much, much higher than the actual essential oil. But if somebody uses that's why my facial wash, I can wait till that's actually completely cooled down before I add the essential oil, so it doesn't do anything to the flash point. So just be aware when you purchase stuff that there is such a thing, and you may want to talk to the person. Okay, is this really an essential oil that you put in there, or is that a fragrance oil? Okay, and mine actually says it on there if it's a fragrance oil or essential oil, believe it or not. Most of my items are essential oils. I have 2 or 3 of them that are fragrance oils. It's just because of the scent. You cannot get an essential oil with that scent, unfortunately. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do cotton, why I don't do linen, only because of that. It's not really essential oil, it's fragrance oil, and I don't want to do another fragrance oil. Okay? So I'm almost there. So it's already starting to thicken up a little bit. So now I'm going to add the essential oils. Make sure you add all of them. You know, and again, it's a mixture between geranium. It's a mixture of patchouli, cedarwood, lemongrass, tea tree oil. You're almost here. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to start pouring. I'm going to show you how it looks right now. Let me go ahead and turn you around. See, this is how it looks. So it's not thick. It has some bubbles on it, but this is how it looks. So it's nicely mixed. Now we're going to start pouring, and it's going to get poured in here. And then usually what I do is I let it stand for about couple hours to thicken it up before I actually start wrapping it and putting the label on it and put it on the shelf, only because I want to make sure that that is completely setted. When you get these, always make sure they're on the bottom. I have had purchased some of them that were halfway up, and I'm like, oh, if I would have not noticed it, I would have sold somebody one that's only halfway. So I always check it. I also disinfect these in tea tree oil. So I don't know if anybody else does it. I just do it because I don't want no bacteria to be in there. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and get started on this. Now, as I pour, it will also cool down fairly quick. And I have noticed when you pour, you actually, it always sinks in, or when it dries up, it sinks in a little bit. So you may have to refill a little bit more. So, and we are using everything up. As it cools down and thickens up in the bowl, we may have to put it in just for a couple seconds in the microwave again. So we get every little bit, because we're not wasting anything on this stuff. That's pretty much how I make the lip balm too. I mean, not with the same ingredients, but that's pretty much what I do with the lip balm. Pour one at a time. Now, geranium is, I love geranium, tell you the truth, the geranium essential oil. But I use the geranium essential oil also for the bug spray. The bug spray, geranium keeps the gnats away and keeps the mosquitoes away. Plus, it smells good. So, I know a lot of people use lemongrass. The only thing with lemongrass is that you have to be very, very careful when you start using lemongrass, that you actually that you don't attract the bees. You know, when you use lemongrass, my husband uses lemongrass to attract the wild bees to come into a box when he catches them. That's one thing I always tell everybody. Okay, lemongrass is amazing, yes, but you have to be careful that, you know, if you have bees around, they will like you even more. So with that understanding, just make sure if you do get a bee around when you use lemongrass, allow it to check you out. It will notice that you're not a bee, and then it will fly off. it won't even bite you. It's just they're attracted to the scent because it smells like a queen. That's the same scent pretty much what the queen gives up, and that's what you have with lemongrass. And that's why they're you can catch them when they're wild that way. And that's pretty much what we have. We have the wild bees. Alrighty, so I didn't have enough jars, which is fine, so I'd actually put in another jar. So when I make more, I'll have this on the side, and I can pour it out, melt it, and use it again. Of course, when I melt it, because there's essential oil in it, I have to be very, very careful that I don't go over the flash point. But I've done it before. I've been doing this now for several years, the deodorant. And so I'm okay with that. So let me go ahead and show you the end product. See, it's filling up right now. Right now, we got to wait till it settles. We probably have to put a little bit more dip on every one of them. And then we're good to go. And then it's going to get labeled. I hope you enjoyed that little video. The little live on how I make deodorant and why I make it and why I put certain things in. I don't give out the recipes because this is my income. But if you want to get into it, I'm sure you can do research and create your own. However, if you want to try it, like I said, you can come by the storefront here. If you're not close, you can always go on our website. Everything that I make is on there, which is www.cajuncorral.com. While you're there on that website, make sure you sign up for our newsletter, because it's only with the newsletter that I give out coupons periodically, not all the time, but you get updates on where I'm at, where you can find me, what's going on the farm, and things like this. Like I said, check us out. Make sure that you also check out our blog. Kitty's been putting a blog on every week about our goats. I haven't checked the newest one. She messaged me this morning that she put one on, so I've got to read that later. And while you're checking out her blogs, make sure you put a comment on it. That helps us also to actually attract new customers, believe it or not. If you have purchased something from us, and you have a second, you really like our products, if you don't mind just writing a review either on Facebook or on Google, that helps us also to grow our business and to stay in business. We are a small farm, we are a small business, so we really appreciate all our customers, the feedback we're getting, which has always been very positive, and we want to stay in business and continue bringing you all the amazing handmade goat's milk skincare products and tinctures and infused oils, so you can continue being healthy and having healthy skin or healthier skin. So if you don't mind writing maybe a little review, that helps new customers to make a decision and understand that our products are pure and that they are working, and that helps us then to grow. So thank you very much. God bless you. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you this weekend, make sure that you check out our website. Talk to you later. Bye.